Hello Whiskey Desperados, this is Mark, your host here at WhiskyWhistle, bringing you whiskey review number 66. Today we're going to be looking at a very unusual blended Scotch whiskey. This one is called Something Special. Now this is a brand that has quite a long history, although probably where you are, if you happen to be in Europe or in North America, you may have difficulty finding this brand. In fact, it is the number 4 luxury whiskey brand in South America, and quite prominently sold here in South Korea as well. Anyway, Something Special. This one comes from, Hill Thompson and Company Limited, which in fact is owned by Pernod Ricard, who also own the Glenlivet, Chivas Regal, among other brands. Let's go right into the pouring. There we go. Quite an unusually shaped bottle as well, and they've put a special protecting seal in there to make sure that people don't pour in other lesser quality whiskeys into the bottle. So this one doesn't pour that easily. Come on now, there it goes. We'll pour a healthy, maybe 40 milliliters there, maybe more. So it's got a screw cap. Now, cork versus screw caps, what's better? You know, I really don't think there's much of a difference. The whole thing that you want to happen is that evaporation be stopped. And in fact, maybe the screw tops do a better job of that. There's also no chance of cork breakage. There's no chance of contamination. It's okay if you leave it on its side. Anyway, it is not as elegant, however. And could be some sort of a noisemaker for New Year's Eve. All right, so Something Special, specially selected blended Scotch whiskey. And this one is a label that was made for Korea. So if you can see that very closely there, you'll see the Korean lettering, which says Something Special. So almost the same as Something Special. They've written it in Korean. This is a brand that has been available, I believe, in Korea for quite a long time. Anyway, they recently released a new product called Legacy, which is the one rightmost. There is the logo. And as you're watching the photos, there's also a photo of a Korean television drama. It's coming up. So this is Longmorn. Longmorn is basically the feature malt in Something Special. Apparently contains quite a lot of it. There's an older bottling. Be nice to get your hands on one of those. Those go for about 300 pounds sterling. Oh yes, this photo. So this is a still from a Korean TV drama. And Something Special was featured in it. And that's a period drama based in the 80s. And I believe that probably this is a brand that was quite popular back in the day. Korea's had quite a progression economically, and Something Special would have been probably one of the more reasonably priced Scotch whiskies available at the time. These days, it's definitely not one of the top 5 here in Korea, but I think it's still featured just because people have such a strong memory of it from when they were young. Now I have left my notebook over on the table there. Maybe we'll just go without. Might be good, who knows? Okay, let's give that a whiff, shall we? This has a little bit of a spirity or alcohol sort of a scent to it. So something, there's a little bit of alcohol for medicinal purposes when you get a cut. So that sort of, I don't want to call it rubbing alcohol, but anyway, so something there. It's a little bit off-putting, not the greatest, but there's also something very sweet there too. Bit of cinnamon. Maybe a tiny bit of vanilla poking through there as well. Okay, well, let's taste that, shall we? Before so, there will be a short advertisement right here. Okay, welcome back. Let's try that together. Something Special Single Malt, Something Special Blended Scotch Whisky. Okay. Okay. Not good. Okay, well, anyway, let's just carry on. I can't worry about spilt milk. Okay, we'll try that now. Cheers, everybody. Where this excels is in the palate. If the nose is slightly not so great, the taste of this whiskey is something that will make you say, oh, this is good. I think there is no one out there who could put this in their mouth and say, disgusting. No chance. There's some fresh apple, vanilla, bit of brown sugar, and the finish also quite sweet. And normally I notice a real progression from sweetness to sourness to bitterness, but this one is mainly focused on the sweetness and almost no sourness or bitterness to speak of. And that may appeal to a lot of people, especially it'll appeal to a lot of younger, newer drinkers to Scotch whisky here in Korea or in other markets where this is available. It's very easy to drink. There is nothing really complex about this at all, but what you have here is something that is drinkable and enjoyable, very candy-like as well. Now, I didn't mention the ABV. 40% ABV, as you could guess, which in Korea is a good thing because now there are some unscrupulous companies that are pushing forth 35 and 36% ABV whiskeys, that claim to be whiskeys, which they really shouldn't, because there is no country in the world where you can call something at 36% whiskey. And color-wise, this is pretty much just a light gold shade, so quite nice that it's not too dark. Surely there's a bit of coloring in here, a little bit of E150, but they've kept it to the minimum, so that's great. And if you look at the picture's a lot darker than this, and that's probably an older bottling. Anyway, try that again. The longer you keep it in your mouth, you get a little bit more spiciness to it as well. And I gotta say, a surprisingly long finish, given that this is an entry-level Scotch whiskey. Now, I picked up this particular bottle at the convenience store. So if you're looking for a very easy to drink, simple, inexpensive Scotch whiskey, this would be a good one if you're here in Seoul. We'll add a little bit of water there, not too much. I also saw this at Home Plus. Home Plus is one of the big box retailers here, and it did just happen to be on the lower shelf. Now, again, that doesn't mean that it is not good. Doesn't mean that it is of poor quality. All it means is that they make quite a lot of it, and it doesn't have an age statement, so they're not bound by waiting for casks to finish maturing. They can simply choose ones that have the right flavor profile for their needs, and it looks as though a lot of cases are shipped down to South America and also here in Korea. So the saleability of it may help to keep the price a little bit on the lower side. I believe I spent about 16,000 won on this bottle, and this is actually a half bottle. This is 360 milliliters. Yeah. Now, I guess because I don't have my notes here, I can't tell you much about the history, but I believe 1912 is when something special hit the market. So quite a long history there. And this was at one time owned by Hiram Walker, or was it Seagram? I think it was Seagram, in fact. So Seagram's owned this for a while, and then it ended up falling into the Pernod Ricard portfolio sometime around, I think, 2010, I'm going to say. And just last year they released this new one called Legacy, which looks quite interesting, and I sure hope I can find some here in Korea. We'll see. Okay, let's try that with a little bit of water now. There'll be another short advertisement right here. Okay, on the nose. With water, anything negative now is gone, and you get a nice bit of grain whiskey, some fruitiness and spices coming through on the nose. And we'll try that again. Thanks to everybody here at Pernod Ricard for maintaining this brand, and hopefully you'll make it available in other markets too. Even sweeter and still very flavorful. I'm going to add just a touch more, because now what I remember from earlier is that very much like one of something specials, we'll call it a older brother blended Scotch whiskey called Chivas Regal. There's something chocolatey that develops with a bit of water and a little bit of time in the glass. So we'll see if we can coax that out of here. Yep, there's something chocolatey coming through there. Maybe a touch of mocha as well. And you get a really dark sugar flavor coming through now. And a nice hint of chocolate. A little bit of that mocha coffee flavor as well. So here's the thing. What about the finish now? Spicy, a little bit of clove, cinnamon, brown sugar left is trailing out here. Something kind of rummish in the finish, which is nice. So I was going to say, here's the trouble. When you open this whiskey, you will be a little bit, perhaps slightly off-put by the nose, especially if you are used to better blended Scotch whiskies or single malts. So a lot of people will say, oh, this is just not good. But once you get it in your mouth, this is where this whiskey really comes alive. It's got a really, it does have a lot to offer, and it is something special on the palate. Even more so when you add a touch of water, you'll be treated with a slightly different range of flavors, including some chocolate, some dark sugar, and a little bit of mocha. So I think that this is something it's worth trying. And if you are in Korea and you don't want to fork out a lot of money for your Scotch whiskey, this is certainly something that you could enjoy. Given that it's available in multiple sizes, you can get a smaller one. I think there's even one smaller than this available, which would probably be less than perhaps $10. Probably enough for a good night. The half bottle that I've got here, definitely 2 people, maybe even 3, could work through that over the course of an evening and really enjoy it. And then of course you've got the even bigger bottle for larger groups. So multiple sizes to choose from, and it's not going to break the bank. So would I recommend this? Absolutely. Now, that's not to say that I'm crazy about it. It's fairly one-sided with basically just sweetness offering itself in the flavors. I think that was a little bit of a weird sentence I just said. Anyway, so largely just sweetness coming through, not much else going on. But if you're new to Scotch and you're in Korea, I think certainly this could be something you could enjoy, and will sort of pave the way for something a little bit more interesting thereafter. So can we call that sort of a entry-level Scotch whiskey for younger drinkers? We'll try that one more time before we sign off here. By there's just the mere fact that I've put just a touch of water in there, this has really come alive. I'm not really tasting a whole lot of grain whiskey in there now. I'd have to say that according to what I've read, certain websites, including I believe it's the Whiskey Exchange, say that a lot of Longmorn is included in this blend. That very well may be the case. I have yet to try Longmorn, but I'm tasting mostly malt whiskey here, which is quite nice. It may be on the younger side, and there may be a proportion of grain whiskey added, but it's good. It's good. Initially, I gave this a score of 70 out of 100. I'm going to bump that up to 73. So 73 out of 100 for Something Special Blended Scotch Whisky. If you're in Seoul and if you are a Scotch drinker, just get yourself a bottle and try it, and add a bit of water. Tell me what you think, and if I'm crazy, well, then you can curse me or whatever. Don't curse me. You can let me know what you think. Okay. So if you've watched till now, why not subscribe? You can subscribe by simply clicking the link right down there in the corner. Okay. And hopefully we'll see you next time. So the WhiskyWhistle score for Something Special Blended Scotch Whisky again, 70. What did I say? 73 out of 100. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.